Good morning, students. Welcome to our class, Biological Science. In the previous class, we discussed about excretion. One of the life important process, excretion. What are the parts that present in it, and how the excretion takes place in the animals, especially in the human beings. Later, we discussed different types of organisms, from unicellulars, multicellulars, including the plants, and types of alkaloids that present in the plants. Now we are going to discuss another important life process in the animal kingdom. Okay, so in this process I am going to explain about a few important points. Whenever you sharpening a pencil or grasping the doorknob, walking or running or driving, these all are the movements, well coordinated movements. So what are these movements? Coordinated movements. Okay, so sharpening a pencil, grasping the doorknob, walking, running or driving or swimming, whatever the activities, these all are the well coordinated movements and made by our body. So all these coordinated movements are work together and give you a purposeful function. For example, movement. If you take the example of movement, whenever you move, there are three basic functions takes place during the movement. One is move, second one is balance, and the third one is coordination. So whenever we move, the movement takes place, balance is important, and coordination takes place. Because movement is not a simple task, it is a feat, it is a quiet feat. Okay, because of that, these all movements takes place. Coordination takes place. Even standing upright is also a difficult task. Standing upright, because standing with the narrow base with 2 feet. Standing on your 2 feet with narrow base is also difficult task. What causes all these functions in our body? All the functions are the functions that takes place in our body with the well coordination of several systems. All the functions performed by the body is because of several functions of together. Coordination together. For example, the movement is not only takes place alone by the either skeletal system or muscular system. Both together only the movement takes place in the animal body. You understand this? Whenever the movement takes place in the body, either the skeletal system or the muscular system alone cannot make this purposeful action. Both the actions of these two, one and upon only, gives a coordination. Okay, so you understand that the different systems are work in the body to give a coordination and a purposeful reaction or action. What makes the muscles or what triggers the muscles to move? Do you understand? What triggers the muscles to move? We all know very well the skeletal system along with the muscular system only make the purposeful motion. That means movement. So what triggers the movement of muscles? What triggers the movement of muscles? So this reaction or this coordination involves a series of organs and tissues and cells together to give this action. To understand this, there are different types of systems work in a coordinated manner. Do you understand this? A group of organs, tissues and cells work together to give a purposeful action. Whenever, for example, whenever you walk on the ground, when you go on the road, whenever you hear the horn of the or blow of the car, you move aside of the road. Do you understand? This is because of coordination. When you walk on the road, you move just aside of the road by hearing the sound of the car or bus. Okay, this is the coordination. While you are walking and without seeing, by turning backside, you are moving aside of the road because of the coordination. Do you understand? So, there is a response, very important. So, what is the response to stimuli? Respond to stimuli. So what is stimuli here? The reaction response, the reaction or the action response is an act of efforts by the sudden change in the around surrounding of an animal. The change in surrounding of animal. This is stimuli. What is stimuli? The change, the sudden change. What happens in the surrounding of an animal are the signal of stimuli, are signals of change or stimuli. Okay, na? So the response is as an act of efforts by the change in the surrounding of an animal. It is stimuli. So stimuli is the change that present around the organism or surroundings of an organism. Do you understand clearly? What is stimuli? The stimuli is the phenomenon which causes the animal to react or which causes the animal to act. For example, when a mosquito is trying, if a mosquito is trying to bite, okay, what do you do? If a mosquito is trying to bite you, what will you do? You just strike it with your hand. So that is the coordination. Or at the same time, the change which causes to strike your hand at that particular place. That is the stimuli. The change that occurs in the surrounding of an animal. You understand this? So, change in the surrounding of an animal. Here, the stimuli is very important. Stimuli is very important. For example, the cat may be run because it saw a mouse. These are the general topics or the phenomena that happens in our surroundings. The cat may start running immediately when it saw a mouse. Okay. At the same time, the plants are growing towards the sunshine. Okay, plants are moving towards the sunshine. At the same time, these two are the changes. Okay, na? Response to stimuli. The response to change. Do you understand? The stimuli is very important for survival of an animal. Response to stimuli is very important for survival of an animal. The response to a particular stimuli in a particular situation is of great importance for the survival of an animal. Do you understand that? So, the best example is, I will explain that two deers are grazing in the forest. Okay. Unexpectedly, the predator is ready to catch these deers. One of the deer very clever and it can very sensitive to observe the changes in the surroundings. And another one is not having that much of sense. The deer which have the much sense, it can immediately observe the change that happens in the surroundings. It run away from the place. Another deer which cannot sense the change, which cannot identify the change, it can not survive anymore. You understand that? The response to a stimuli is very important for the survival. Do you understand this? Now, so these are the change, the stimuli to response or response to stimuli occurs in a series of actions. Okay, now the response to a stimulus involves a series of or a sequence of actions are present. The first one is detecting the stimuli. That means identify the change and transferring the message to a particular organ, and processing takes place in that organ, and at the same time the response is given to the particular places of the body, and the purposefully and successfully the response is showed by the particular animal. You understand? I will explain that. The response to stimuli occurs in a sequence. A series of events are there. The first one is identify the stimuli. The second one is transmit the message. This is the second one. And third one is processing. And fourth one is response. Okay. Response by a particular organ. Do you understand this? So here we may have a question. How do the muscles do the fast response? Responses? The rapid changes that occurs in the muscles. That causes a change. That causes a response to a stimuli. Do you understand this? The rapid changes that occurs in the muscles show the response to a stimuli. Okay. So all involves a well-coordinated manner. So here I would like to explain another important experiment. Holding a falling stick. Here in this activity, take 30 centimeters length of scale. 30 centimeters length of scale. Okay, hold the scale between your fingers and ask your friend to hold it on the other end. Now, you mark the place where you exactly hold the scale and ask, okay, now your friend is already hold the scale at the other end. Now you remove your fingers, that means hold it, suspensionally hold it. Suspended between your two fingers. Now ask your friend, leave the scale and you try to hold the scale at the exact position where you previously caught it. So in this activity, do you exactly caught on the same position? Do you understand this? Take 30 centimeters length of scale and ask your friend to hold on the upper end and suspended your two fingers between the scale here like this, and ask him to leave the scale and try to hold the scale at the same position where you have already caught. Can you do this? So with less, a few members only do that, but most of the cases we miss the exact place because the rapid changes that may not occur in the hand. Do you understand this? So the rapid changes that occurs in the muscles that causes a response. All these systems, all these coordinated manners are worked by the coordination system. What is that? Coordination. The linking system. coordination, the linking system, the movement, walking, running, grasping a pencil, that means sharpening a pencil, grasping the door, okay, riding a bike. These all are the coordinated movements. Do you understand this? So these are coordinated movements. In our body also, different types of functions are performed by the coordination of different systems. In this lesson, we are going to see what is the coordination system, what is coordination, what are the parts that are present in it. Mainly in the coordinating system, two parts are present: brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord. Okay, na? So in the olden days, all are known that the brain is the center for all activities of the body.